whenever an overdose patient was admitted to certain hospitals, I know like Rhode Island Hospital,
almost
Kent,
all the hospitals,
almost all of them, and when someone was admitted, a recovery coach would come immediately, would meet with the patient, would talk to them about what happened, would talk to them about treatment and recovery options, and would give them kits of naloxone before being discharged from the hospital.
And those recovery coaches reported that the folks that they had talked to stayed in contact with them for a very long time. It's still a relatively new program, but these recovery coaches are folks who have walked in those shoes.
Absolutely. These are peer-to-peer recovery coaches. And to have someone engaged, and a majority, more than a majority of the patients that they engaged with were willing to take some form of treatment, whether that was inpatient treatment or, attending a program outside, attending a program at Anchor. Most people were receptive to that, and I think that that's the real sadness of the Attorney General's intention of saying it's more important to make an arrest and lock someone up. Well, if we don't have a Good Samaritan law, it's not that you can even lock someone up, because these are bodies that will end up at the medical examiner's office. So I just don't see any logic in what the Attorney General was saying there. And what we did have in place was something that was really successful. People were surviving overdoses, meeting with recovery coaches, getting Narcan, and entering programs.
And I think if I was out viewing this tonight, I'd want to wonder what else is going on in the earlier stages of that addiction cycle that folks are going through. And we're making a lot of progress. And last year, and this is kind of a macabre type of statistic, but for the first time, the majority of overdose deaths were caused by street drugs and heroin, as opposed to diverted prescription drugs, which had been the leading cause up until last year. So the irony here is we're doing a much better job of making sure that people with pain problems are getting appropriate treatment, but we're also keeping the supply of divertible drugs down to a point where the price of those drugs are going up. You push the balloon on one side, it comes out the other side, where heroin becomes cheaper, more available, far less predictable. The fentanyl issue comes in. And so while we're making progress here, we're kind of going backwards on the other end. And the lack of the General Assembly renewing the Good Samaritan bill and expanding it is just unconscionable at this point.